see any public, makes that easy. Julie? You're
Yes.
up.
Hello, everybody. Pretty quiet right now, so not a lot to report on. Today is September 15th, the last day for folks to pay their township summer tax bill on time before they have interest. And villages are also wrapping up their collection, so we'll be busy the next couple weeks just settling with those villages, turning over their settlement things. Still working on some other credit card and dog licensing stuff behind the scenes, but other than that,
So statutorily, there's a second form in there behind the regular bank form that Julie has to produce now that they are the foreclosing governmental unit.
Oh,
You don't have to vote
yes.
on it, but it has to be provided to you. And it's now been provided to you, and it goes over the foreclosures.
Number of properties sold to 1. Okay. Public auction. Okay. 23 properties sold at public auction, or is that, no, that's
This is-
16. This is for 23.
this is for 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's due to the state. I turned a copy of that into the state, and then they also require us to turn it into our Board of Commissioners.
Okay. Is there anything of note there that we,
No, we've only been the foreclosing governmental unit since about 23.
That was our
And
first.
so this is the first year that we get one of these every year. I believe that year there were only just a couple of properties, and we use title check and they assist us with it, and then they're auctioned off.
Right.
And one.
And then those go to the land bank or they can be disposed of otherwise.
all right, looks in order. Any other questions for Julie?
I don't.
No?
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Which brings us to our first agenda item. I would look for a motion to approve the L 4029 2025 tax rate request as presented and instruct the chair and clerk to execute the same.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported.
Very briefly, you can see in my memo that it goes along with it, the requested levy amount and then the anticipated amount that will be realized from those levies. These are just our standard ones: senior center, medical care facility, MSU extension, and the 2 veterans villages.
All right, any questions on this L 4029?
Nope.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. And we'll see that again on Wednesday. I would look, well,
So there's no motion on this one.
so we're just gonna vote.
So she's just got, Caroline Wilson's going to talk to you about the voting process very briefly tonight to elect the Board of Canvassers. So generally what happens is that there is a ballot because the Board of Canvassers has to have nominees from both the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, and they submit them. But then you will get a ballot that has each of your district titles on the top, District 1, District 2, etc. And then you will cast a vote for one of the electorates. Now keep in mind, even though it is a ballot and she will pass it out to you, it is public. And so whatever you cast as your vote is recorded and is available. It's not a secret ballot. That's not allowed in the Open Meetings Act. But the statute requires a ballot.
This will be handed out Wednesday.
It'll be handed out
And you're
Wednesday.
gonna vote for either Democrat or Republican?
No, you vote for one of each.
Oh, one of each.
Yep, so there will be 2 that go to the Board of Canvassers, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican nominee, and they're the ones that serve with Caroline during election night.
Right.
Okay.
4-year term. And the notation is down on the bottom, District 1, Commissioner Josh Haley, and things like that. So it's pretty simple. And I'll hand it to you out on Wednesday, and then I take a quick moment and do a tally sheet, and then state who the nominees are. Easy. Happens every other year, odd years.
They're required to submit names. 3 is recommended. I believe the Democrats submitted 3. You select one of the 3. I think the Republicans submitted 1.
Right.
Select that one.
You select that one.
So,
And then she will tally it up.
Okay.
That's all there is for that agenda item. I just wanted to go over the general process.
I remember doing it.
Oh, yeah, I've done it several times.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, the same person's running again, lots of times,
That's right.
so they're kind of basic. I mean, to me it is, so.
Yeah.
It's beneficial for that process because the Bureau has fallen short on the actual in-person kind of training. So like the Republican, Lenore, who's been on the board for many years, has got great knowledge, and even in the training that we did at the end of last year, it showed us exactly that we're doing things well. So she's that institutional knowledge that is extremely beneficial.
Oh, with all the changes in elections and the complexity.
Yeah, we get to vote for each one,
One of
one
each.
Democrat and one
Yeah.
Republican, yeah.
Has the deadline passed for submitting people's names?
They're submitted by the party chair, so the party chairs submit them to the clerk.
Right. And that deadline has passed, yes.
All right, any other questions on that? All right, we'll be ready for that on Wednesday. I would look for a motion to approve the creation of 2 part-time positions at the animal control shelter at a grade 1, not to exceed 20 hours per week.
So moved. Or,
Moved and supported.
So this is at the sheriff's request to staff the animal control facility. We anticipate that one will be 20 hours a week and one will be less than 20 hours a week. But they will help wrangle the volunteers and work with them. They'll do scheduling, they'll walk the dogs, feed the dogs, etc. While they're out there. It will not be a traditional shift per se. They may have to come in the morning, may have to come in the afternoon, evening. It will be flexible. It will be a grade 1. Between the two of them, the maximum allocated amount won't exceed $32,000.
And it makes sense. I know we have a lot of volunteers and we're indebted to those people, but we can't run a.
can't keep it up.
Right, and we can't, volunteer doesn't show up, the dogs do.
Correct.
So we've gotta have that, I think, skeleton crew to just make sure that
Absolutely.
the animals are.
Keep them fed, keep them exercised, clean up the messes.
Yeah, and so this is an unbudgeted request, it's not in the budget. But remember, last month or the month before, we did allocate funding related to the opioid money to go into the jail contract, which did free up some money in the general fund, so that will come out of that freed up money from there. So it's not outside the budget,
Yeah.
it's just been reallocated.
And so this will be from the sheriff's budget line item?
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong, just a couple months ago when we did allocate some extra funding to the sheriff's department, that animal control shelter was to be run solely by volunteers.
No. It was supposed to be supported and built by volunteers. There were always a plan to have at least someone there to assist.
Yeah, we're a county government. It would be ridiculous to run a county facility solely on volunteers. Completely ridiculous. I mean, it would be like saying, well, we're gonna run buildings and grounds with just volunteers. That doesn't work, so. Right, can you do that, Tim? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. And we will see that on Wednesday, which brings us to our second call to the public. And we're adjourned. Thank you.
You got lots of time.
Please stand and rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Hearing none, we'll move on to Mr. Pete Preston with our Community Development Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We've had 26 zoning permits and 23 building permits picking up in this time of the year for folks to hopefully get in their houses before Christmas. We had 3 new homes and 1 replacement of a home from a house fire earlier this year. Other than that, with code enforcement, we're coming up with a new system still to track that. We are slowing down just a little bit to handle some more of the priorities instead of just chasing the junk and debris. We're starting to get calls in our office concerning junk on the side of the road, so we're communicating with the road committee. Cyclical on what we get calls on. So other than that, we have a special ZBA meeting Wednesday night, and then our regular planning commission, which we will have a rezoning from Rush Township. The old beanery out there, or grain hall, hasn't been used in years. There's some folks coming in looking to rezone that for commercial purposes.
Okay.
That's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
Questions? Hearing none.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, that brings us to our one and only agenda item. I would look for a motion to approve the filling of a maintenance 1 position.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
All right. Well, I'll support it. Okay, discussion?
So we have Tim and 3 maintenance workers. One of them has filed, put in their resignation, and they're moving to a different position, so we do need to replace that. It is a budgeted position. Tim is not just an administrator, as he also is a working individual, so he goes out and works to fix things too, but with just 2 of them and Tim, it would be a little short staffed, so we do need to replace this 3rd position.
Okay. Discussion? Seems pretty cut and dry. All right, all in favor of moving that to Wednesday, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. We'll see that Wednesday. That brings us to our 2nd call to the public. Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.